tune your ears into Star Chase Essential, a podcast about everything Charles Hamilton music, moments, and everything in between. I'm Stick Braxton.
And I am Mike D. Jackson, also known as Mr. Red Flags, but I don't bang Sue Will.
Wow. Okay.
I had to go there. Real quick. So, you know how people talk about relationships, dating, red flags, all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So, we talked about this, I want to say 2 weeks ago. And so, I'm doing a podcast now. Red
Yeah.
flag.
Yeah.
Oh, men doing podcasts. Red flag.
Yeah.
You know, I rap. Another red flag.
Uh-huh.
Another one that I never really paid attention to too much, but now I'm like, third one, I go out every weekend. I don't care about it, but personally, people are like, so you rap, you do podcasts, you go out every weekend. So 3 strikes, I'm out of there, bro. I'm out of there. I'm done. Relationships, they're done for me. Never dating again. So Mr. Red Flags, no Sue though.
Damn, that's crazy. I forgot about it. Yeah, I didn't even think about the one about going out every weekend. You do that.
I do. You just said something about it on your other podcast, Two Tall Boys. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, is that how women look at me? I'm like,
Yeah, that is.
damn. But
Oh.
it'd be like
Oh
that.
man.
Yeah, I'm done, bro. And I didn't even name the other stuff, and I'm not even gonna go there. So I'm a lost cause. It's over. It is over. Game over.
There's
But I'm
somebody
okay
out
with
there. There's somebody out there for you, man.
it. There's some 60-year-olds. Saturday night they were digging me. I might go that route. I
Bro, the
might go
Cougars love you.
They do. So that might be my only option. So we'll see. We'll see.
Other than that, man, how you doing? How's life?
So other than that, not good. This Monday has been kind of trash. I had an appointment that I set up a couple days ago.
Mhm.
Everything was cool. This appointment was in Rehoboth, which is about like 40 minutes away from me. So I get there on time, 10 minutes ahead of schedule. Maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes before I find out, hey, we apologize. We have to cancel. So-and-so's not here. Can we reschedule? Do y'all understand that I was literally like one stop away? I just had a U-turn, parking lot, check in. So yeah, my Monday, I rushed through everything, got a haircut, did some laundry, did grocery shopping. Yeah, man. So little perturbed, I guess you could say. But other than that, I guess I'm all right.
Oh man, that
How's your Monday?
oh no, it's bad too. But that's bad, bro. I hate that when like you set something up and then like you go out of your way to make sure that you're early on. You know what I'm saying? Or not even on time, early,
Yes,
just to find out that nah, my bad. You got to reschedule again, big dog.
it's crazy. Like if
That's
it happened in Dover, like if it happened like nearby in Dover, okay, that's no big deal. It's like I was literally right there.
mm-hmm.
I'm right here. I'm literally right here. But it is what it is. So I just had to make a trip of it and enjoy the rest of my day.
Yeah. Yeah. My day didn't go as well either. My job, which I hate talking about, they they've been doing this rollout for music terms.
Okay.
They've been doing a rollout for this new thing that they've set up. It's not new in the sense that it's a new system, but it's like, oh, we revamped the system that y'all hated before and we made it better, right? Um, when I tell you this junk came out broken, think Cyberpunk 77, think Fallout 76, think Final Fantasy 14 when it first came out.
Jeez.
You feel what I'm saying? Like it's just they dropped it, but like they shouldn't have. Is what I'm getting at.
I get it. I get it completely. So case of the Mondays for both of us. That's what it
Yeah,
seems like.
yeah. But we can remedy that with a podcast about Charles Hamilton, man. And today we are discussing Atlantis and A. Is that how you
Yes,
say
sir.
it? And how would you say it?
I would say and A.
That's
At
what I would think.
first, when I first saw the name of this tape, I thought it was like Atlantis and A dot dot dot. Like there's something more to it,
Mhm.
but maybe not. That might be something we can ask Charles in the future. But I think Atlantis and A. I think that's how it's pronounced.
This tape came out in 2010. It came out in July. It, when I did the research, it came out the same day or around the same time as uh Genophobia and 10 Things I Hate About Me, I think.
I gotcha. So on paperchaser.com, shout out to them. Jeez.
What a
Uh,
name, by the way.
yeah. So you can tell how OG that is. So they dropped on a post on July 3rd, 2010. It was six tapes. So of course, Atlantis and A,
Mhm.
Autumn Harvest. Well, this isn't awkward. Gynophobia, the L Word, Incomplete, and 10 Things I Hate About Me. This was that random day we all just woke up. Hey, Charles just dropped 6 projects.
Yeah.
Random. So it's just like, 6? You mean 6 songs? No,
No.
6 full projects.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, yeah. So that was a thing.
What do you remember about that day?
So I remember, I think by this time Charles was already off Interscope, and
Mhm.
a lot of us were just wondering, okay, so he's not on Interscope. What is he going to do now?
Mhm.
What are we going to do now as fans? Are we going to continue to support him? Like I said, I remember waking up saying, "Hey, Charles dropped 6 projects." No, you mean 6 songs? No, 6 projects. So I had to look, and I think as actually on Paper Chaser, I actually seen this, and then I was like, "All right." And then whoever it was, I can't remember the actual YouTube channel. It might have been Sega Hamilton, but I went on YouTube. I'm like, "All right, well, let's press play." So
Mhm.
just sat there, listened to like two of the tapes, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna just kind of space this out because I'm not gonna be able to listen to 6 tapes in one day.
Right.
As great as Charles's music is, it's like, yeah, that's just overload. Even with any artist, I'm like, yeah, but it was a lot of music to listen to. But I was just thankful because Charles was the first artist that I realized, okay, even if someone gets dropped, that doesn't mean their career is completely over.
Right.
It's not, and we've seen that from him getting a new deal, leaving that deal, still making music no matter what. So I was very appreciative at this point in time. What about you?
Yeah, I remember going into the senior season. So I was probably back on campus, probably to do basketball camps at that time.
Yeah,
Well, let's see. No, July 3rd. No, I was probably home then because they probably, because of the holiday. So I was probably home.
right.
Um, but I just remember I guess I was still doing the check on them, man. I was like, so like, let me see if what Charles is up to. So I was checking the blogs and stuff like that. And then yeah, I remember just going online and there was like, yeah, he dropped 6 tapes. At first, because you only saw one at first. I was, oh, he dropped this. And I was like, all right, cool. Then you saw another post like, oh, he dropped this. I was like, wait. And it kept going. I was like, bro, this man dropped 6 projects in today. It was
One day.
nuts. Yeah, and there's a lot of good stuff in there. I forgot uh a couple of those that all dropped the same day. What's interesting about this one is he dropped 6 that day, and this is the one that I don't remember actually listening to. So this is kind of like a first listen for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'll say this, with me listening, I'm not sure exactly how I listened to all of them. Like I said, it was like maybe two one day, two another day,
Mhm.
two another day. I will say this, the first time listening to it, some of it got like kind of mixed and mumbled up just because it's
Mhm.
so much music at one time. So there was definitely certain songs that stuck out, but at the same time, it's like, oh, I really like this song. Oh, wait, that's not on Atlantis and A. That's on
Mhm.
the other project. Oh, I like this one. Oh, wait, that's on the L Word, Incomplete. So uh I did listen to everything front to back that whole time, but like I said, when you're listening to so many projects at once, some things can get lost in translation, and you might have to really go back and listen to it again, kind of like how we're doing today. So pretty interesting.
Yeah. So a lot of these songs, like even though it came out in 2010, a lot of these songs were recorded in a span from '08, '09, and 2010. Um, do we have any other tips or like not tips, but any other facts about the tape that we know of?
Yes, sir. So, and this might make sense about the Atlantis and A.
Mhm.
So all the songs were recorded in Atlanta with Atlanta producers such as DJ Toomp, Groove, and So Messiah,
Okay.
which I knew about Toomp because Charles does say his name on one song, but the other two, I did not know that. Did
Mhm.
not know. But I did know, of course, '08, '09, 2010, because that is in the name of the actual project.
Right.
I just I kind of sit back and think, okay, this one I could definitely see probably '08 sounds like early in his career. Someone's, oh, that's probably '09, but none of them are actually said. So it's
Right.
kind of interesting. And I like to kind of play a game where I'm like, all right, well, this is this one, this is that one, this is this
Yeah.
one. But you actually really don't know because he doesn't actually say it. Unless you actually ask Charles, then it's like you really don't know. But it's all just a collection of songs that he did in Atlanta with Atlanta producers. So I think that was pretty interesting because we're so used to hearing Charles on his own production. So it's like, all right, you're going to be in here with Atlanta producers, and we want you to try something different. And we all
Mhm.
know how Charles is when it comes to trying something different. But he obliged and he actually did it. So
Yeah.
respect him for that one.
Yeah. Um, yeah, that is interesting. That's kind of the premise. Like again, this is one of those tapes where it's like a collection of songs, not necessarily a concept or a theme per se. But yeah, it's in the midst of those six that came in that were part of that pack. Yeah, this one just seems like, oh well, I had some songs from these last 3 years. Let me just throw them all together. And like you said, I think it's interesting to kind of try to figure out which ones were from what era, right? And I feel
Right.
like we'll probably try to do this in here while we're recording today because I had a couple where I was like, oh, you can definitely tell this is like a early 2008 type joint
Right.
versus like something else. So I mean, let's get right into it. Let's do what we normally do. Give us your three songs, top songs from the album or from the project.
All right. So my three is crazy because I want to say, even if you were to ask me back in 2010 to now, I think they probably stay the same. I think they probably stay the same. But my three, I'm going to go with. See that one throws me off. I'm gonna talk about it later, but there's a certain song on here that has a different name than it's on another project, but it has a different name. I'm not gonna say it yet, but it's not one of my three. I do like the
Okay.
song. So Shiny Shadows, Speak No Louder,
Hmm.
and Deja Vu, Heroin Girl.
Okay.
Those are my three.
Okay.
Would you
Um, let's
would you
talk
like for me to?
about let's talk about let's talk about Speak No Louder first because
Okay,
I feel like that one we kind of heard before this tape. I want to say we did, right?
you did and you didn't, but you did, but you also didn't. So I'll say it now. So Speak No Louder. The song on here is called "There's Nothing Like It," but it was also named "When I Rap."
Hmm.
What else was on here? Which other song? So I can at least "Speak No Louder" and "There's Nothing Like It," also named "When I Rap."
Hmm.
Those songs were also on "My Heart," which was supposed to
Hmm.
be that album that was supposed to come out
Right.
and never did. And "My Heart" got leaked. All alone got leaked. I know some years ago, people on YouTube like, "Hey, My Heart came out. Here's the link," and there was no link. People
Yeah.
that were just BSing. So that's the first time something like "Speak No Louder" actually came out and people heard that.
Gotcha.
But with "Speak No Louder," we did hear it, and I feel like that's like the perfect song. I hope I'm not jumping the gun, but this is like the great instrumentation, how the instrumental is used.
Hmm.
Charles comes on the track. It's a poppy slash rocky rap
Yeah.
vibe to it. The lyrics are on point, just everything about the song. That's like one of those, hey, if you never heard of this kid before, you need to check him out now. And
Yeah.
I just I can't I don't think anyone could dislike it because like you have certain people that only like certain genres, right?
Hmm.
Certain people that I only like rap. I don't listen to anything else. It's like, okay, there's rap on here. I only like rock music. Everything else is trash. There's rock on here.
Yeah.
Well, I need something a little bit more upbeat and poppy. He covers everything on that one song. It's just
Right.
whoever gave him the idea to make that song, chef's kiss. Perfect song.
Yeah. Speak No Louder. I feel like. I mean, looking back, we probably should have added that to the essential list. But Speak No Louder is one of those songs I feel like is. I feel like when you think of Charles, that is something that you kind of remember, and that's one of the songs that pops into your head.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I think you got a point. Like it kind of combines a lot of the things that. he likes, especially the rock element, right? Because
Yeah.
you got to remember, like he kind of well, he didn't because 2007 they had that song Rockstar, which by the way, looking back, I hate that song. By the way, I
I hate it
hate that.
with a passion.
Oh my god,
Bro,
that like I
terrible.
respect to them because they made a song that charted and really got everybody whatever hype in 2007. But looking back on it, that song gets on my nerves. But Charles was he kind of said he was kind of a rock star more so than a rapper. He was a musician. Like that was instrumentation was his thing. He just happened to be able to also rap very well, right? And
Right.
I feel like this song kind of adds that element. And he has a lot of songs where he has like the rock element that maybe I like better. I like a lot of Incubus flips and another one that I can't remember what it's on. I want to say it's on the up, but I think it's like sunbathing.
Okay.
But like that has like a rock element too. But Speak No Louder is kind of like one of the most is probably the most iconic one when it comes to that. Yeah, I feel like that's a good record. And then you said Deja Vu Heroin Girl. Let's get into that because I feel like that's one of those Charles Hamilton songs that I found out later that everybody loves. Like
Yeah.
they really, really, really love Heroin Girl. What was your first, thoughts on the song, and is there like a deeper meaning to it? Because we know Charles's history with heroin and with the drug or whatever. So
Yeah.
what was your thoughts on it?
So I could tell you first off, just going through the whole project, that's one of the songs that stuck out like a sore thumb.
Hmm.
Also, when I'm first listening to a project, I hate trying to rewind or go back. I want to hear the
Hmm.
whole project first. But if I really like a song, I'll stop right in the middle. Nope. DJ, play it back. I'll
Yeah.
do that. So that song just stuck out like a sore thumb. Great song. Just the way I guess it made me feel, and just everyone knows that sometimes Charles, not everyone is a fan of Charles' singing on the song, but I felt like he did it justice. He was melodic as well, told a great story.
Hmm.
It's one of those things about I don't know if this is why he's such a genius at what he does. I'm not sure if this was just something he made up in his head, where it's like, hey, I'm just going to write a song about being in a toxic relationship with someone,
Hmm.
or hey, I'm speaking about my own experience where this is my first time dealing with substances like this, or hey, this is my first time dealing with a substance and a toxic girl at the same time. So it all intertwines. But I can just close my eyes and envision like a music video of this actually happening. And he actually mentions in the song, he's not sure where the girl is now. She might have passed away. And I definitely think there is a deeper meaning because
Hmm.
when me personally, I've never done drugs, but it's one of those things where if you're really in love with someone, love is a drug, if
Yeah.
you want to count that. But if you're really in love with someone, no matter how good or bad they are for you, you will do anything, and I mean anything, to keep them around.
Hmm.
And it's one of those things where when you want to clean up your life, you want to clean up the drug usage or whatever you want to call it, you kind of sit back and think, if I do clean myself up, are they coming with me?
Yeah.
Or is it done? Is it over? So it gives you a lot to think about. And it's definitely a song that I feel like anyone can relate to, regardless if you've been in love or not, you've done drugs or not. It's just something that everyone can vibe with, I think, personally.
History. Before tonight is history. My ass smiled and said, I like what this could be. You got a spoon? She said, do you got a syringe? And that's how the drama begins. Damn. Intoxicating is your smile. But please don't be my heroin girl. You got me staying for a while.
No, I like that. I like the way you spent that. I try to look at the title when I listen to songs, especially if I'm trying to interpret what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And so like Heroin Girl, that's in parentheses. So it's kind of like, that's the illusion. But I like to focus on the first part, which is deja vu.
Yeah.
So to me, I don't think it's like I guess the first thing you would think is, well, is he back on heroin? Did he fall off the wagon or whatever, right? But I feel like it's more of a sense of I felt this feeling before, but it was if this time instead of it being a drug, it's in the form of like a person or a woman. Like I'm very addicted to you, or I'm very addicted to this person, and I know it may not be good for me, but it's hard to shake. So it's like, you know, like I know, like it's like you said, like if I get sober and I know that this isn't good for me, I want to get away. I want to clean myself up from it, but I also want this person to come with me, right? Or like I want part of this person to come with me.
Right.
Like I feel like with drugs, like I want the feeling to stay with me. I just don't want the other negative effects to come with me as well, in the form of a woman or the form of a partner, whatever. It's like I want the person. I don't want the negative and toxic traits of the person to come with me. So it's like I feel like the song is basically saying like I know I felt this feeling before, but I kind of want part of that feeling back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get you. It's one of those things where, of course, he doesn't speak on it on the song because it's like there's certain stuff you can't add in every song, every movie, whatever you want to
Mhm.
call it. But that's something that you don't get to really control, though. Like, of course, hey, if I get clean, or if you get clean, are we gonna stick together? Are we gonna? If you do, you do. If you don't, you don't. You don't get to choose that. If
Yeah.
anything, if you are going to be cleaning up yourself in your life and that person doesn't want to, that's fine. Of course, you're going to be like, but I'm so used to you and everything we did together, and how can
Mhm.
I live without you? It's like that's what you're going to have to do, unfortunately. And there's going to be bigger and better things that come your way, better love, better opportunities. But we're so focused on the now. I just can't imagine being without you, living without you, and this is how I lived for so long. It's like, well, it's time for a change.
Yeah.
But I still think, like I said, great song, just the way he worded everything,
Mhm.
and it's left up to our interpretations because we're both thinking pretty much the same type of thing, but we both, we went in one direction saying, hey, this is what I think it means. You said, hey, this is what I think it means. But either way, it's like you said, deja vu. I've been here before. Do I want to go down this road again? Maybe I do.
Mhm.
Maybe I don't. Maybe I don't.
Yeah. Yeah. It's one of those songs where it's like Charles's experiences kind of create this beautiful piece of art, beautiful piece of music, and you kind of, but it's one of those things where it's like you feel the pain, and it kind of
Right.
makes you feel kind of not guilty, but like you feel for him like even more in that situation. Um, but you did mention what I have as my favorite song on the project, "Shining Shadows."
Yes, sir.
"Shining Shadows" is really good, man.
Take you a trip to the dark side. And make it a glimpse in the Charles eyes. Seek and forgive from all lies. At all times, for all crimes.
I say it a lot just because that's how it sounds to me, but like that spacey, outer space, voidy type of like sound with the with
Hmm.
the with the singing on the hook, and then again the verses obviously are always dope. Um, yeah, man, I just remember hearing that and like you said, gotta rewind that one back. Let me throw that back real quick because that's a really good record. Pause. Yeah, nice shot, buddy. Nice shot, pal. I've been playing this game for a while, buddy. Can't can't get me. What's your thoughts on Shining Shadows?
Oh man. Hey,
Oh man.
Stick was listening to this album, throwing it back. Pause. That's what Stick was doing. He's like, Shining Shadows. Yeah, yo. Nah, but with Shining Shadows, same thing with that song. I'm not sure exactly if Charles made that beat or if someone else did,
Mhm,
but for me, how he's explaining everything, like he mentions about, it's like you're at a party, at a rave, and also he kind of mentions Jimmy Iovine, and it's kind of like something sinister about the song, kind of like eerie and sinister.
mhm,
Because to me, when I listen to it, it's like we all know, okay, this is around 2008, 2009, more than likely not a 2010 song. So I'm like, all right, so
yeah,
I feel like he's kind of trying to tell us a little bit about the industry or what's going
mhm,
on behind the scenes, but obviously you can't say too much because that's when they get you out of there.
right,
But like I kind of, and I'm not saying anything crazy, but I kind of felt like a little bit of a Illuminati vibes, kind of, but in a way of him just being like, hey, this is what we do, this is how it is. But at the same time, he still made the song enjoyable, something that you could dance to, something you can vibe out to. Because there's some people, when they want to talk about certain subjects or certain stories, they go a little bit too far left, and then it's just like, it's not even like an enjoyable experience. It's just like, okay, this person spit some truth, but now I don't know if I want to listen to this again, because now you get like an ick, you get like a certain feeling from. But good vibe, good song, just amazing. I can't say too much about it. That I can't say anything negative about it. It's just I just really like the song. Like you said, just that was definitely another song I played back. Like, yeah, this is definitely top 2 for me. Top 2.
I think Charles does a good job, whether that's a good thing or not, but he does a good job of songs where like you're vibing and you're bopping and you're rapping the lyrics, but then like if you really sit down, you read the lyrics, not rap the lyrics. If you sat down and read the lyrics, you'd be like, oh wait, this is really sad or bad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where you listen and it's like, oh wow, this isn't a positive song, but that beat is too catchy. So I'm gonna keep bobbing my head, you know.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I think for me, just especially around this time, it's like I kind of accepted like some of these topics he's going to talk about won't be in the brightest of light. It'll be probably something negative, something darker, and I'm just going to accept it. It's like, hey, and until he actually tells me, hey, don't play that song particularly because I don't like it anymore, then I'll be like, okay, I respect your decision and respect your wishes. But until then, full volume on blasting at 50, just like playing the song.
And you brought up a good point too, like, you know, in the song he's kind of alluding to the fact that he's trying to pull back the curtain on some of the industry things.
Yeah.
Like a judge, I get high from the gallows. Not guilty, he does not feel me. It's not real to me, therefore it doesn't appeal to me. But will still make a meal to me. So tell me what the fuck is the deal to me. Now I get all the blood that I need. Hence why I signed to Jimmy Iovine.
And I feel like we've discussed a few times where like what he thought the industry was isn't necessarily what it is in his eyes, right?
Right.
And I think that was kind of a big part of, you know, whatever happened down the line, right? Is that Charles was never really in it for the fame thing. Like if it came with it, I feel like he was like, cool, that's whatever. He was making music and he was homeless. So like that's not, you know what I'm saying? That's not really a thing for him. But he wanted to make music his way and he wanted to make music in his style. And I feel like once he got in there and he felt like there was all these hurdles and obstacles that were stopping him from doing it, I think that's where I don't want to use the word rebellion. That's where the
A disconnect.
kinda, but the where you start pulling back. Like magnets. Same
Okay.
magnets, but like opposites attract or whatever.
Yeah.
It was like really they were fighting each other. And I feel like that's kind of where that issue came. And I feel I understand it as someone who's like does like artistry stuff or whatever. You want to do things your way, but then you had this other person telling you, nah, you gotta do it this way, or let's wait on this. And after a while that gets annoying.
Agreed. Of course, being an artist myself, making music, it's one of those things where I've had, even in the beginning, some people say, hey, try to rap like this, make a song like this. In the beginning, you're like, oh, okay, because I'm trying to strengthen my talents, you know, show my caliber of artistry. That's what you want to do. But later on, oh, you should make more music like this, more music like that. They try to put you in a box.
Right.
And I actually kind of got that. I kind of got this from this project as well. Not on this song, but maybe on some other songs on this project where Charles mentions, hey, the music's great, because he's talking about the label saying this to him. Hey, the music's great, but we need you to work on this more, work on that more. And of course, they know that he's talented as a musician, as a rapper, as an artist. But, you know, as a business, as an industry, hey, that's great that you can freestyle all day off the top. It's great that you can write songs in 20 seconds and they be hits. But when we talk about hits as in label, we're talking about money.
Yeah.
Like, are you going to be able to make us money off these so-called hits? And like we said, I guess they sent him or said, hey, go to Atlanta, because at this time, 2008, 2009, Atlanta, they're still on top of the rap game. So it's like,
Right.
we want you to rap on these type of beats, and we want you to check this out, and maybe just rap about this topic, rap about that topic, because they know that he can rap about anything. But it's like, we want you to like kind of stick to one or two topics and just
Yeah.
make a song about that. And when you're first doing that, okay, cool. But if that becomes every single song you're doing, then it's just like, who am I? I know
Right.
who I am, but now you guys are going to tailor made me to some type of idea that other people are going to just think, oh, when you hear Charles Hamilton, you think of Atlanta, you think of this and that. And that's not who he is. So, like you said, the not rebellion, but him being repelled to do any of that that they want him to do that he's not really wanting to do. It kind of will just it'll kind of annoy you and tee you off a bit, to the point where it's like, maybe I want to make music, but do I want to be signed? Do I
Yeah.
really want to stay on a major label? Maybe I should go elsewhere.
Yeah. Resistance was the word. That was the word I was looking for.
Okay.
Okay, so my three, I have Shining Shadows. I think that's the best song on the album for me.
All right.
I don't want to pick the ones that you picked, so I'll leave Deja Vu. Just know it was on my great list.
Got you.
I like Cancer, not the disease, not necessarily the sign either, but the song. The song was good.
Song's good. Song's
The
good.
song is really, it's again, but it's like, I wish I knew what the actual song meant. You know what I'm saying?
It's weird for me, because when I came back to the song, this listen around, I was like, I don't get Cancer vibes from this song. I like the song. I like the
Yeah,
song. I'm like, I don't like, why did he name it this? I
that's
don't know
all.
why he
Yeah,
named it that. But you know how artists are, sometimes it has nothing to do with the song. They're like, I'm gonna just call this Platypus. All right, well, song's called Platypus then.
yeah, yeah.
Good song.
And then I don't know if you like this one, but I thought it was clever. Phil, Drew, Osmond, Oprah.
I like the song. I do like the song. That's the second one on the project. I like the
I
song.
like it, man, because it's very, it's kind of what I took from it. A lot of times we can become people's quote unquote therapists, or people that they talk to for their problems.
Mm-hmm.
But then I always think about like, who's always think about this question: who's the therapist? You know,
Yeah.
who does the therapist talk to when they're like, yo, it's things are bad? Who do I talk to? Because there can't be the string has to stop somewhere.
Yeah.
Because somebody, like, it can't, like, it can't stop at a therapist, and that therapist is like, oh, I'm good. I don't have any problems. That's not realistic. So it's
No.
like, I understand being people's ear, or like somebody that, dump all your problems on me. Tell me what's wrong. But then when it's time for me, like, that's taking on a lot of trauma and taking on a lot of problems. But then who do I turn around to and talk to? You know?
I agree with you on that, because me personally, that's basically my life story. I'm used to listening to everyone else's problems and giving them some advice. When I was in college, I only went for 2 years. Everyone told me, "Hey, you're really good at giving advice. You're really good at blah blah blah. You should, be a therapist, or you should go for psychology. You should go
Mhm.
for." So at first, when I heard that, I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. But I heard it so much from so many people, I'm like, maybe I should do that. But like you said, you're so used to giving advice for other people, and some of the advice isn't even like crazy. It's just like, hey, I keep dating this person and they keep hurting me. Stop going over there.
Yeah.
It kind of just stop going over there. But for me, when I'm dealing with my issues, because you always have the people that say, hey, anytime you need to talk to someone, you can talk to me. You can
Mhm.
call me anytime. You call them, you talk to them. Hey, this is my situation going on. What do you think I should do about it? I don't
Mhm.
know. That sucks, man. Wow. After
Yeah.
all the advice you give out to people, and that's all people can say, damn, that sucks. Hey, I don't know what to tell you. So it definitely hurts when you're in that type of situation. And it kind of makes you kind of shut yourself off, when it comes to people asking for, even if they're asking for advice, or they're like, hey, I can give you advice. It's like, nah, I'm good on both sides. You kind of just keep yourself, keep yourself to yourself, and just like, I know it's not healthy, but I'd rather deal with that than the other situation.
Sure. Yeah, no, I get that. I'm a very I feel like if you give too much of yourself to people, then people get entitled to stuff, and then that's where you run into problems like later on when like maybe you're not available, and then now they're calling you selfish for for the one time that you aren't available. So yeah, no, I get that, man. I get that. I think we're kind of the same in that regard or whatever. Um, Now, is there any song on this project where you were like, eh?
Yeah.
Actually, before we get into that, right?
All right.
Am I bugging? There's a song on here that's technically on here twice.
Yes, it is. Yes,
Okay.
it is.
There's a difference in the songs, right?
There is. There are slight differences, but if you're talking about lyrics and pretty much the beat, same. There are slight
It's a
differences
different order, right?
in a different order. What do you mean? Like the verses? Like the verses
Yeah.
are different?
Or the verses in the exact same order.
Last time I checked, it sounds like they're in the same order. So here's the difference, right? So guys, the songs we're talking about is Jan or Jann. There's the sober version and the drunk version. The first, it's the drunk version first, then it's the sober version.
Mhm.
So the drunk version plays first, and to me, I'm pretty sure the vocals, the lyrics are the same.
Mhm.
What I noticed was that there's certain inflections, like he might put an echo on a certain word, certain
Mhm.
phrase, something like that, extra sounds, whatever, on the drunk version. And then on the sober version, some of those same things aren't there. And I think that's the genius part. So
Mhm.
you're thinking about it, like I said, drunk and sober, and you're like, did I hear that last song?
Right.
No, I'm bugging. Yeah, no. That was there last time. No, it wasn't. Was it? And it makes you go back and listen to both of them.
Right.
So I know there's something he says about being as big as Hanson in the song. In the
Yes.
drunk version, it's like Hanson, like kind of like added something extra to it. On the
Yes.
regular version, it's just like regular. Just you don't hear anything extra on it. But
Got
as
it.
far as I know, I'm pretty sure it's in the
It might be.
same way.
It might be. I thought that maybe like it was the structure was just slightly different where like maybe the second and first had been flipped. I could be bugging.
I could be wrong too. Listen, I could be wrong too because
Yeah.
that sounds like a good idea. Where play the drunk version first, because it's kind of like, hey, because like you said, it's just another drunk night. So you went out, had a crazy night, did whatever, then you wake up with the hangover and all that. Like, then the song plays in reverse. It's just like,
Right.
wait, well, how did I get here? And then you have to
Right. Yeah.
backtrack and think about what you did. But as far as I heard, it maybe here's the problem. Anytime I've heard the songs, I heard it sober. Never listen to the song drunk. So maybe that's what I need to do. Next time I hear the
Yeah.
song, I'm gonna play the songs drunk, and then I have to get back. I have to get back to y'all on that. But as far as I know, I just heard like certain inflections on certain verses or certain words he said that were a little bit different. But other than that, I wanted to ask about it too because I didn't at first when I first heard it, just period. I'm like, did they make a mistake?
Mhm.
Did they just miss something? Maybe I
Yeah.
missed something.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I didn't you probably because you make music, you probably notice that quicker than I would. You know what I mean? So if you notice it, that's probably something that is happening in there. I just for some reason because I when I was doing the research, I listened to it the first time. I was cleaning.
Okay.
I was moving around and the song played, drunk played, and then sober started playing. And I was like, wait, what? Because I had my headphones in. I had my headphones in on Bluetooth, so I didn't have my phone on me. So I had to go check. I was like, wait, did this I was like, do I have repeat on? And I was like, no, it's just back to back. I'm like, okay. So when I listened again, I was like, let me focus to see if there's something different. And for whatever reason, I just feel like it was in a different order. I could be bugging, bro. Just we'll see what Charles hopefully Charles can get to us about that. I think that's one of the more interesting choices. But yeah, I think drunk and sober, it's a cool concept. I like whether he did whichever way he did it, it's a cool concept. And I feel like he does cool stuff like that all the time.
I will say this last thing I'll say about it
Yeah.
because I feel like The sober version was just recorded like regular,
Mhm.
and he probably was like, "Hey, I'm cool with this. Let's bounce it next song."
Yeah,
And maybe someone like one of the producers or someone or engineer was like, "Wait a minute, I think we can add a little bit extra to it." And then
yeah,
they did, but then it could have been something in the studio. All right, who likes the sober version? Who likes the drunk version? And then everyone's like, I don't know. It's probably a tie or something like that. And it's like, you know what? We're just gonna keep both of them, and then
yeah,
just we'll let the audience, we'll let the fans decide what they like more.
yeah.
So if even you guys, if you hear it, pretty much it's the same song, but do you like a certain one better than the other? Me personally, I like the drunk version better. Maybe because I heard it first, and then the second one, the sober version, it's like sounds the same, but I don't hear the extra inflections and the extra sound effects in there.
Yeah.
Maybe some people don't actually like that. They're like, I could do with all that out the extra stuff. Like I think you just put that in there to make extra noise. I didn't like that.
Mhm. Alright, so now with that out the way, what songs or what song would you say was like, we could probably remove this from this pack, or if any?
Okay, I have one. Now
Okay.
there is one song that I'm kind of about, but I wouldn't remove it.
Okay.
So that song is actually the first one. Allison Loves Music. I like the song,
Mhm.
but I really just so with this project when it first starts and you listen to it, everyone usually when you make a project, you're like, all right, this song has to start off with a hit. This has
Mhm.
to start off with something, even if it's like sad, emotional, it has to start off with something. And I
Mhm.
feel like I didn't really get that from that song. I do like the sample on it. It's the Usher throwback, the Diane Warwick. You're gonna need me. I think that's the sample.
Got it.
Yeah. So I like the sample, and I like the song. Like I said earlier, Charles was mentioning how the label's like, hey, the music's good, but we want you to sell.
Yeah.
And he kind of has a theme in that in this project where certain songs he says that, and it's like, yeah, we want you to make more popular music and whatnot. This song, he does talk about some deep topics and whatnot, and I like the way he tackled the conversation. But other than that, I'm like, it's okay. But the song I would say, hey, I'd get rid of That's a Raven. I would get rid of
Yeah.
that song. So let me make a disclaimer real quick. I have
Uh-huh.
no problem. I have no problem with Raven Simone. Shout out to Raven. I used
Oh,
to watch
legend. Legend in the game, bro.
yeah, legend. I used to watch That So Raven when I was younger. She's cool. I don't know what she's doing now, but shout out to Raven Simone. Also, I don't want beef with Jet Li Jetson because I know Raven Simone's his whatever. So shout out to Jet Li Jetson too if he's listening to this. Probably not. But with this song, That's So Raven, kind of like we were talking about before, it's sounded like an Atlanta type beat,
Mhm.
and they wanted Charles on it, and that it just sounds kind of forced to me. Like they were like, "Hey, you need to rap on this beat," and Charles is like, I'm not really rocking with it," and they're like, just try it, see if it works,
Yeah.
and they tried it, and it was a good attempt. Like I said, the song's not terrible, but it's one of those things where I'm just not really vibing with it.
Yeah.
I never said this before, but this is definitely like a song I would skip. Like,
Got it.
some people say, "Oh, sometimes I'd skip it, sometimes I don't." I would skip this every single time. I'm just not a fan of it.
And that's okay. I feel like that's fair. Everybody can't like everything, bro. That's just not that's not how life works.
True.
Yeah, that does seem like somebody was like, "Hey, give this a try." And Charles probably heard the beat. I don't want to say that he made something out of spite because I feel like when he makes stuff, right? And
Right.
he's gonna make it something that at least he'll enjoy in a sense.
Yeah.
But I think he was like, "There's no way y'all gonna be able to use this, so here you go." You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
Yeah, I mean, it's a fun song. I'll say that.
it is.
It's a fun song. I don't know if it again would it crack like a top 100 list? No. Crack top 200 list? Probably not for me, of course.
Right.
But I could see somebody being like, this is cool. I like this. Well,
Your song? Hey, is that your song that you leave off or
what? That's a Raven?
yeah?
No. Oh man, this one's tough because like I don't necessarily dislike any of these. I'm just like I don't really. They don't register.
Okay.
Oh man. I don't think I think Order My Steps is the one. Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Order My Steps?
Again, it's not terrible. I'm like when I put it down, I was like when I put it in the end category, it wasn't because I was like I absolutely do not like the song. It's just
Right.
that I was comparing it to the rest of the tape, and I was like, of everything here, I'm like I could probably, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is okay. This is cool.
It's just crazy for me because I think when I first heard Order My Steps, I'm like, okay, this is definitely one of my more favorite songs on the tape. And then you get the Heroin Girl, and then you get to, then I'm like, oh, okay, so now Order My Steps was probably like at the top of my list in the beginning. And then I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
oh, now I gotta start moving a little bit lower. So
Right.
it's like probably like maybe fourth or fifth, like one of my, and when we, if I was listening to them all, probably like
Mhm.
fourth or fifth for me. So
Okay.
it's rated somewhere up there. I do like the song, but I, once again, we all have our own opinions and whatnot.
Yeah.
If anything, I would have thought you would have picked one of the Just Another Drunk Night songs to be
No,
like,
it's
hey,
on. It's in that category too.
okay.
In that category too.
I figured you would have picked one of those because it's like, well, you can just have one and not the other, and that would make sense. I can understand someone saying that.
Like logically, that makes the most sense. It's like if we had to get rid of one, just get rid of one of those.
Yeah,
Logically, that makes sense.
and also speaking of the That's a Raven song, because you said it's a fun song. That reminds me of, it was on Hamilton Charles, Ugly Supermodel, that song on his album.
Uh-huh.
That song was like a fun type of song where it's like, okay, fun type of beat. And Charles is talking about he's an ugly supermodel. And it's like, okay, it's one of those songs where it's definitely there for certain people, but it's definitely not for everyone. So it's like you gotta pick and choose what you like. And it's like there's certain songs are just made for certain people, and like you said, not everyone's gonna like everything.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, when we get to that album, eventually, I'll talk more about it. But I like that song, by the way.
I like it. I definitely like it. It grew on me. It definitely grew on me. At first, I was like, all right, but like I said, it took a few listens. I'm like, I appreciate it. I definitely appreciate it now.
Um, as far as like trying to pick out the '08 as we're about to wrap up, could you kind of figure out which ones were '08, '09, and 2010?
All right, so for '08, definitely I'm gonna say Shining Shadows is '08. Speak No Louder, '08.
Yep. I said nothing like it was '08.
That's also '08 because like I said, that was called When I Rap, and that was on my
Mhm.
heart. So if my heart was supposed to come out by a certain time, it
Right.
has to be around. They have whatever. There's nothing like it. And Speak No Louder, they have to be the same year. They those two have to be the same year.
Yeah.
So they're either '08 or they're '09. Um, I'm gonna say That's So Raven, probably a 2010 song. Deja Vu, Heroin Girl.
Oh,
I
that
want
one's tough. I think that's 2009 though.
I want to say '09 for that one
I
because
want to say
I feel
that
like,
one and Supersonic Love is also '09.
okay, I could see that. I'll say both the Just Another Drunk Night songs. I'm gonna say those are '09 because there's a. I feel like for, let's say, like Allison Loves Music. Oh, Humble Pie, Humble Pie. I feel like that's '08 because like the beat
Mm-hmm.
on there is definitely, because that's the tune beat with that song. To me, that sounds like something he would have made for Ti. A great song, great
Mm-hmm.
beat, but that's like one of the beats where, let's say, Ti or whoever was like, you know what, I don't really like that beat that much, so I'm gonna just give that to somebody else. And then Charles like, I'm gonna do this. Order My Steps, I'd probably say '09.
Mm-hmm.
But something like Allison Loves Music, I think any song where he kind of mentioned, oh, the label wants me to do this and that, I feel like that's '08. So songs like that. Cancer, maybe '09, maybe '09 for Cancer.
Well, some of
Order
these
My
has to
Steps.
be 2010. That's the thing where I'm trying to figure out because I would have said, oh, I think Phil, Dr. Drew, and Oz, Oprah. I feel like that might be 2010. I feel
Yeah,
like that might be a little bit later because that's when it's kind of starting to go. And I feel like anything where it's starting to go like slightly lefter might be closer to 2010
yeah,
in my
definitely.
in my opinion.
Well, I would say Phil, Drew, Oz, and Oprah is definitely 2010. I would say that
Yeah.
for that. Anything else? I'm trying to think of. I think we Yeah, we pretty much named
Yeah,
everything.
that covers them all. That covers
Yeah,
them all.
so,
You can
yeah,
kind of tell when it's an '08 record too, because Charles's voice still has that young sound to it. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? Charles, and he also rapped a certain way at that time, and you can tell it.
I would say not that he was uncomfortable, but there's definitely like a certain thing about his voice where it's just like it's not the bravado he normally had that
Right.
we've heard later on later tapes.
Yeah.
Because like I said, some of these '08 songs, these probably came out or they probably were recorded before the Hamiltonization process and all that.
Hmm.
And then the songs in '09, you can definitely tell, because like I said, he has that confidence in him, it's the cockiness. And there's a couple of songs where he mentions that, like, yeah, I'm cocky because I'm in the best position. I'm trying to take over the world. It's one
Hmm.
of those type of deals where it's like, yeah, that's just okay. I can hear that. And then, like you said, 2010, it's the confidence is still there, but it's more of I say a reserved confidence.
Hmm.
Like, hey, I've been on the label. I know what I'm doing. People still dig my music. At least the higher ups.
Yeah.
They're the important ones. They're the ones I need to impress. Of course, I need to impress fans, but I know who I need to talk to and what type of music I need to make
Yeah.
to make sure that I can keep the train rolling, keep the ball
Hmm.
going.
Yeah. It's kind of, you can kind of like the 2010 thing has that hint, that tinge of like resentment from being in the industry and it not living up to like certain standards, and then whatever else has happened at this time or whatever. So you can kind of hint it, like the music doesn't suffer because of it, but you can hear it just a little bit. You know what I mean?
Definitely, because like you said, Charles never did this for the money. He didn't really do it for the fame. With his whole thing, back then, I want to get a Grammy. I want
Hmm.
to, and also some of the songs he said, I want to change how the industry is. I
Yeah.
want to like. There's a lot of people that are being lazy, that aren't doing
Yep.
what they're supposed to be doing. I'm going to be the person that changes it. And unfortunately, he wasn't, or he didn't change it how he thought he was going to change it. And like you
Hmm.
said, that resentment of why didn't they accept me? It's like, why did things go this way? Like,
Right.
I had the lyricism, I have the skills of an artist, I have pretty much the whole package, and I'm able to make whatever song you want.
Hmm.
So what happened? And of course, we all ask that too. Like, what did happen? Like,
Yep.
what's going on? And there's certain things that we will never know. It's like behind scenes type of stuff that maybe Charles was like, you know what? I'll do this, I'll do that, but some of that stuff I'm not doing. Like, you will never get me to compromise who I am as an
Hmm.
entire person. I'll compromise, but I'm not going to just straight not do this or not do that, because that's who I am as a person. Like, that's not even his brand. It's like that's who I am. If you take
Yeah.
that away from me, what do I have?
Right. That's facts. 2023. We just listened to Atlantis and A. How do we feel about it in 2023? Give us your thoughts on it and give us our rating system that we don't have a name for.
All right, 2023. So while I told you about my appointment that got canceled, I was driving up there listening to this,
Mhm.
then got canceled, listened to it again, driving back.
Mhm.
2023, I want to say I feel a lot better about it now. Not that I didn't feel a certain way about it before, because like it's
Mhm.
what you said before, I listened to 5 other tapes. So everything got mixed and jumbled. It's like, yeah, I like this, I like that, but it's just too much. I was able
Mhm.
to sit down and focus and listen to it twice, And also, it's funny because I actually listened to this probably maybe a few months ago randomly, where I was just like, I want to listen to this. I haven't heard it in a while.
Yeah.
I really like it. Like, if we were talking about what I feel overall, majority of the songs I would play over and over again.
Mhm.
There's only one song I would skip, maybe one or two songs where I'm like, they're okay.
Mhm.
But overall, definitely a tape I think fans should listen to. I give it a Bassonic rating, but it's definitely a solid project that everyone needs to listen to. You get to hear Charles in '08, '09, 2010. You get to see how he was able to mix and maneuver with certain beats and certain obstacles that they gave him. And I
Mhm.
think he did a solid job with this project.
Yeah, so this is my first actual full listen. Um, and I'm glad that this podcast exists because it does give me the opportunity. This is this is the kind of episode that I like because it's something that I've never heard before in full, and it's new. It's new for me, and any Star Chaser will tell you back in the day, one thing we always loved was new Charles Hamilton music. Not the song, even though the song was fire too, but just in general, right? Just in general, we love getting new Charles Hamilton projects and new Charles Hamilton music. So for me, um, it's a good tape. It's a good tape. I would say I like half of the tape overall, right? So
Okay.
let's say if there's 15 songs, maybe, I believe.
I want to say, I could be wrong. I want to say, no, 13. It's
13.
13.
Am I bugging? Can I
No,
not do math?
I have Genius up right now. You
Oh
are
yeah,
bugging.
I can't do math. 13. Oh, so in that case, 8 out of 13 is pretty good as far as like 5 that I absolutely love, 3 that I'm like, oh, this is good, and then the other ones I'm like, okay, this is may skip, may not, whatever.
Right.
Yeah, I wish I'd listened to this earlier. There are some songs on here that will absolutely go on the playlist right after this because, and I'm kind of upset that I deprived myself of some of these songs for so long, right? Do I think it's something? Do I think it's a tape that is a must listen? Not necessarily. Do I think it's a? I think I'm gonna. What am I gonna do? I'm going to establish the Tails rating today.
Okay.
I'm
Tails
giving this
rating.
a Tails. And when I
What's the Tails rating? What's
so the
that?
Tails rating to me is one of those ones where it's like, you know how like everybody loved Sonic. Sonic came out like cool, da da da. And then when Tails was introduced, slowly but surely people were like, yo, we really like Tails. You know what I'm
True.
saying? Like you could tell he's he's not the main character. Shout out to the main character shirt I got on. But he has this kind of not, yeah, I guess really like a cult following. Like he has his defenders. Like people really want Tails to have his own game. Like he's one of those guys. Like he may be a background character, but he's very popular. And I feel like this is kind of one of those tapes where it's like it may not be in the litany of like top Charles Hampton projects, but go listen to it because it is one of those ones where like you'll find some stuff that you really like on there. So for me, I'm gonna give it the first Tails rating, man. Miles per
Okay.
hour.
All right, nice. Shout out to Tails. Funny thing, maybe because I'm the youngest brother in my family, so I've always been a Tails guy, like a Luigi guy. So I've always liked Tails.
Yeah,
Even though I know some people, especially in Sonic 2, they hated him because when you're doing the special stage, he might get in the way. He hit a bomb. You might not get a emerald because of him. So
yeah,
I can
yeah,
see I like the way that you express that because maybe people didn't like Tails in the beginning, but he's been with the series for so long now. I think Sonic 2 came out in like 92. So
something
that's
like
like,
that. Yeah,
yeah, so like 30, like 32 years, something like that, 30 plus years.
yeah,
So maybe you might not, you might not liked it at first, but definitely something that people enjoy now. I like
yeah,
that.
yeah. That's a fact, man. Um, but yeah, this has been another episode of Star Chaser Central, man. You can follow us on our not Twitter, not well, it is Twitter according to you. You can follow us there at what is it? What is it?
Star CH Central because they wouldn't let me do the whole thing. Star
Yeah,
CH Central.
Elon messing everything up. Uh, we're also on TikTok, Star Chaser Central. You can just search Star Chaser Central podcast. You'll find us. Mike's posted some fun stuff over there. A lot of sample stuff. A lot of clips. The Delaware clip really got some people talking. You can also follow us on our individual spots. I'm on Instagram at StickAround54. That's STIK around 54. Mike, where can they find you, buddy?
On Instagram, the Mike Jackson, Mike Jackson. On Twitter, because I ain't calling it that, Mike D Jackson, Mike DEE Jackson.
We are on all streaming platforms. You can go ahead and check us out over there. Give us a 5-star rating, review us. Tell your people, man. Tell your friends. We want to find new Star Chasers, find old Star Chasers. We want to create new Star Chasers, obviously. We're also on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to there. We always have 25 subscribers as of this recording. We probably will have more by the time this episode actually comes out. Yeah, leave comments. We love responding to y'all. hit us up. Let us know how you felt about Atlantis and A. What was your favorite songs? Any lyrics that really spoke out to you? What's your thoughts on Heroin Girl? And am I bugging about that song, or was it not in the same, or was it in a different, order of verses? I don't know. I might have been drinking. I'm not sure. Anyway, let us know what you want us to review next. We'll try to incorporate it into our schedule, just for people that know we record and then we kind of stash away episodes and then release them as we see fit. So stuff might seem out of order when we release it, but just know that as things get better, it'll look better and will sound better. The first few episodes we had to work out some kinks, but I think we're killing it right now. So shout out to us, pat on our back.
Shout out to us. 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, shout out to us. But yeah, this is Star Station Central. We are logging out, where we always encourage you to follow your dreams
And reach for the stars.